Coming off a successful road trip, Maccabi Haifa back at home tonight in Romema when they face off against the winless Ramat Gan team. Good evening, everyone. Aaron Heller and Simi Rieger. The team is home, but we're here in our studio in Tel Aviv this evening, bringing you this broadcast. And Simi, it's Hanukkah here. We're going to wish our viewers a happy Hanukkah. And it looks like Ramat Gan's going to need a miracle to beat Haifa right now.
Well, Haifa wants to light their candles, but it's really something that Haifa's coming off 4 wins in a row, including the one last week that was a horror show, but a win is a win.
Well, let's take a look at that last game. They did get the victory. It wasn't that pretty, though. Let's take a look at some of the highlights over there against Nahariya and see how it got done. A very exciting game, Simi. Went right down to the wire.
Yeah, Davon Jefferson really stood up in the fourth quarter when they were down 10. He really took him on the shoulder, even though he was playing with 4 fouls. And all of a sudden, an 8-point lead became a tie ball game.
And we see right here how it ended in regulation. Basically, Nahariya coming back from a deficit. Jefferson gets, Rich gets called there for the goaltending, and then it was overtime. And we see what happened here. Haifa not able to tie it up, and we had our first overtime contest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Haifa was a step slow. They were out of sync completely until the fourth quarter when they realized that they could lose the game. And here we see Davon taking advantage of a foolish play by one of the players and throwing it down a 360. Here, look at him go. Here he goes. Yes!
And the exclamation point on the victory there, Jefferson, and you see the celebration goes on afterwards. Now, 2 of the guys who we see here contributing perhaps that week was Hajjaj and his backup, Ben David. They had a great game against Netanya, and last week they kind of dipped off a little bit.
Yeah, well, like I said before, Aaron, they were like a step slow. Everybody was a step slow, a second late, shooting too quickly or shooting too late. It was really a tough game, and it affects the playmakers the most, and these are 2 playmakers, and they just didn't play well. You have days like that.
You see there Hajjaj at the end of regulation trying to win it for Haifa, cannot do it, but they did come through in overtime against a team that they were superior to. And we take a look here at some of those highlights from Hajjaj, who had some struggles in this game.
Yeah, he was forcing it a lot. He felt it was on him. I know Dror, he's a great kid. It's just, sometimes it just doesn't go his way. And instead of just taking a deep breath and relaxing, you kind of push harder. And Ben David also, we see the plays just out of sync. The team was out of sync here.
And we take a look here now at the basket, which we had a bit of a delay for the starting this game because of the basket broken. Let's take a look here at our table of standings starting from the bottom. You see Ramat Gan over there, winless, 0-7 along with Holon. And then, of course, Rishon LeZion, they're better than that record reflects. Nahariya after the loss a week ago. And now, of course, Maccabi Haifa, they're at the top. And we see here the top of the standings, of course, Maccabi Tel Aviv leading that, followed by Jerusalem, who won last night in their game against Afula, and then of course Galil, Netanya, and Haifa. The team's going to be battling for those final 4 positions.
Yeah, I mean, there are 8 teams that come into the playoffs, the upper playoffs, and they have I think it's 3 out of 5 series or 2 out of 3 series. And then the lower 4 playoff, who goes down, one of the 2 teams. And it looks like it's going to be a big fight for positioning, who's going to be what and where.
All right, let's take a look at the games going on right now. Of course, we mentioned Jerusalem last night, blowing out Afula in Jerusalem. And the other games going on this evening, Rishon LeZion against Nahariya, Ashkelon against Tel Aviv. That's probably the main featured game this evening. And then you've got Apol Holon, another winless team against Bnei Sharon. The round 8 wraps up tomorrow night, Galil Gilboa against Netanya. Some interesting games this round, Simi.
Yeah, the game that I like is a Nahariya game where there are 2 teams on the lower part of the league, and it's a very important game for both teams. It's getting away, and here we see Jason Rich, who had a pretty good game last time. I mean, he wasn't super like he was a couple of games before, but he played well.
So we see the starting lineups there. Haifa with their regular starting 5. Hajjaj, Rich in the backcourt, Jefferson, Mizrahi up front, and Ben Strong in the middle. And then, of course, Ramat Gan there, getting to know some of those names. Julian Kazoo, the center out of Australia, Lebanese descent, and we'll get to know all of those other players later on. including one of their starting Israelis, Sean Daniel, a long line of Israeli basketball players in that
Yeah,
family.
his grandfather and dad were national team players. He tried to go to school in the States at the University of New Orleans, but he just didn't have the marks to get in. He didn't. Or Brenner, the son of the owner of the team, he's also, we see them in the picture.
And rounding out the starting five for them is Eddie Barlow, number 15, Taj McCullough, number 13, and we mentioned Daniel, Kazoo, and Or Brenner. So we take a look there at the Green Apes, who hoping to go for a 5th straight victory for this team, who we said they got off to a little bit of a tricky start this season. Tough draw at the beginning against Tel Aviv and Galil, but this is a team that has taken off lately, and a lot of that thanks to that man on your screen right now. Davon Jefferson leading the team with 17.7 points a game. Jefferson with the rebound right over there and going to lead the attack, coming back. Coast-to-coast DJ, but he sets up there with Dror Hajjaj. Talked about him in the pregame, coming off a 7-assist, no-turnover performance against Netanya last week. Lagged a little, but looking to get his first assist tonight. And nice ball movement from Haifa. Down low, Jefferson working on Daniel, and they'll take that matchup all night long.
Davon is quick to the ball, which is a very important thing. You know, there was here we see Ramat Gan in the zone, starting off the game in the zone. And we need some outside shooting, and that's...
There's Hajjaj way off the mark. Rebound.
Well, I think, like I say to you all the time, a lot of big key to this team is Moshe Mizrahi. If he lights it up, it makes it a lot easier for the other players because he can really, you know, get hot in his unlimited range.
And a nice move there by Taj McCullough, going to the hoop. So 2-1 early on, Ramat Gan. And this is a team which has shown some sparks, but again, in the win column, nothing to show for them among the two teams along with Cologne who really have struggled from opening gates.
Well, they also don't have very much of a budget. We saw Taj McCullough played for Winthrop University, which is the lower Division I team.
And there is McCullough again unleashing. He has all 5 points for Ramat Gan, falling on the trifecta by Jason Rich. Mizrahi at the top of the key trying to go to work. They're giving it to Jefferson. 3 people on him, but he's going to be fouled. And Davon Jefferson, the heart and soul of this Haifa team, they're looking to him really early in this game.
As they should. You know, it's much easier inside out. And here we see Dror Hajjaj looking a great pass to Davon, and Sophia is yelling in the living room in LA.
And with the nice out-of-bounds play there, Jefferson with the jam. Haifa up again, as we see the two number 15s going to battle, Jason Rich and Eddie Barlow. McCullough feeling hot early on, drills it. He has all the points for Ramat Gan. It's the Eddie Barlow, McCullough show. 8 points for him. And 3 for 4 shooting from the field, including 2 from beyond the arc. So an impressive start for that guy. Taj McCullough averaging 12 points a game this season.
And there's what I was talking about, Aaron. Moshe Mizrahi right in the seam of the zone, knocks down 3. If Jason Rich and Moshe get hot, you know, that's going to really open it. Here's Or Brenner, who took the offensive rebound.
So it's been all Taj McCullough early on for Ramat Gan. He is looking to be a scorer, and you can see that Haifa trying to make the adjustment on him. Just unleashed another 3-point attempt a moment ago, which did not go in. And there from the perimeter is Daniel, in and out. The hustle by Brenner, but it will be Haifa ball. Here comes Hajjaj with the break. Open man's Mizrahi. Can he make it 2 in a row? He does.
I told you.
You called it, Simi.
Yep. For a change.
So Moshe, having a good start tonight, and you see he's averaging 5 points a game on the season so far already. A couple of trades for him early on. Julian Kazoo going to work. Nice shot over there. He is the leading scorer for this Ramat Gan team, averaging just under 15 points a game. And a really interesting story, this guy, Julian Kazoo. He is Australian, but of Lebanese descent, and started in the Australian League and in the Dutch League, and this year one of the bright spots.
And we see the Swiss cheese defense of Ramat Gan, because Dror Hajjaj is splitting the guards, getting Ben Strong by himself underneath with position, and making the shot.
So you're saying he may be Australian and Lebanese, but the defense is Swiss. Is that what I'm getting here?
Full of holes.
Ben Strong goes to the line, 65% free throw shooter. Ben's had a couple of big weeks this season, but the last few weeks has been getting into foul trouble and disappearing early on.
Well, he's playing hard. You know, a lot of times, you know, the guys are penetrating and he's picking up the fouls. We see Elad Hassin, the assistant coach, with Avi Ashkenazi, the coach, and knocks down the three-point lane. All of a sudden, it's a 5-point lead.
Eddie Barlow getting the ball for Ramat Gan, leading the attack. And there is Taj McCullough, who has 8 points early, trying to get open. 2 people on him, and that was a tough shot.
It's a bad shot. Not a tough shot, a bad shot.
And there's Jason Rich. That's a good shot.
And nobody picked him up.
And McCullough with the rebound. So McCullough making all the noise early on for Ramat Gan. Not looking for anybody. Does find a nice look down low to Daniel, but the shot deflected there by Ben Strong.
And there we go. Here it
Mizrahi.
goes. Yes.
And 8 points for Moshe Mizrahi. A big start for him.
And that's also, and really knowing what to do with the ball, because he picked it up, whipped it up court, one dribble and a dunk.
So you've been calling this all season long, Sammy, that Moshe Mizrahi a barometer for this team. And if that's any sense, Haifa off to a great start tonight, as he has got off to a hot start. And they're looking for him again. Ball out of bounds. And it looks like it will stay Haifa ball. Avi Ashkenazi giving orders. Last time we saw this move, it was an alley-oop toss-up to Jefferson. Looks like they learned their lesson, and they're going to go out to Mizrahi over here. Inside to DJ.
Oh, right in
the
wow, look at Davon. He is really mad at himself. He's going, what happened? Why am I making this shot? What did I do wrong? How stupid am I? God almighty.
All those things?
All those things in one breath.
Wow, you're a real good lip sync.
Yeah, I read his mind. Because he got the hit, and you know, Davon's the player that can take the hit, gather himself, and make the shot. He was right under the basket.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. He's one of those guys who really takes the hit going up to the bucket, and one of the strongest finishers in this game.
Daniel Gott, the coach of the Ramat Gan team, with the assistant coach. You know, Daniel is his first time as a head coach in the National League. He was assistant coach with David Blatt in Russia, with Zvika Scherf in Russia. So, you know, he's been around.
And we see a substitution there for Ramat Gan, bringing in number 11, Brandon Ewing. He's the second leading scorer on the team. No relation to Patrick. He is a graduate of the University of Wyoming. And there's the veteran, Otis Hill. Long history here, a graduate of Syracuse.
Graduate. He went to Syracuse.
I did.
You know, let's not get crazy. You know? I mean, the next player that graduates from Syracuse will be the first one.
Jefferson with the strong board, and Haifa keeps it alive. We see number 9, Itzik Ochanon, also in there for Ramat Gan. So their coach going early to the bench.
Money!
And Mizrahi going back to the well. Huge start for Moshe Mizrahi. He's got half of Haifa's 22 points.
And a timeout.
And that's our first break. We'll be right back.
Wait a minute, I got to go buy my clothing.
When we get back, we have time for that. And as you take a look at the bottom of your screen there, Simi, it's your favorite thing.
Yep.
Look at that hat.
Oh, the girls? Oh, no. Okay.
No, that's the middle of your screen. Never mind the girls. Look at that hat. Look at those jerseys.
Yes.
Wouldn't you love to have one of those in your wardrobe?
Yeah, well, I need a XXX, I think.
I want to get one of those. Look at that.
Nice.
Polo
I like
shirt
those.
For the social kind of, you know, like informal dinner party kind of thing.
Well, I'd rather wear it when I go to a bar, you know, get a little...
Get a lot of attention.
Bodak.
That's for sure. And you can get that signed basketball over there, as you see. And who knows, maybe they'll be selling those flags as well, too. So that is your Haifa Heat merchandise. There's not Heat Haifa. And you can get that, of course, here on triangleinternet.tv all season long. Live broadcasts of Maccabi Haifa games, which, of course, you're seeing later all across America on Comcast versus on Jewish Life Television, Cindy, and we've been getting a lot of good feedback lately from people.
Got a lot of feedback from people calling me up saying, I saw your ugly face on TV, Simi. I go, well, I haven't changed. And they just got older.
And they didn't even change the channel.
That's right.
That's how much they love you.
They just turned the sound down.
Or they played with the contrast. Yeah. Either way, people were getting nice feedback, and we appreciate it all, so keep it coming. We enjoy bringing you Israeli basketball at its finest to your homes in the United States. Game underway, and a foul called on Jason Rich. So Haifa with a comfortable lead early on in this one.
That's a terrible call. There's Benny Brenner on the left. He's the owner of the team. Standing up is Daniel Gott, a young man who came to Israel years ago from Uruguay. Great guy. Good player, too.
Otis Hill rejected by Strong, comes right out to McCullough, no good. And we see in there also now number 8, Jason Thomas. So seeing a lot of the bench coming in there for Ramat Gan. Haifa still with their starting lineup, but Danny Gott going to 4 bench players early in this one. Starters aren't doing the job, so he's going to try and find somebody who can. And that time Hill manages to put it in there.
I'm sure Boeheim would be very proud of him. And Bernie Fine is the assistant coaches there.
Moshe Mizrahi, the hot hand early on, has got 11 points. There's Rich, nice look down to Strong, who gets it and the bucket. Haifa having their way so far, doubling up Ramat Gan, 24-12.
And Haifa's putting the mustard on the sandwich, on the Swiss cheese.
And I think this is probably a nice start for Avi Ashkenazi and his troops with the rough going they had last week. It's probably nice to come back home and get a comfortable lead early on.
Yeah, you know, they were away for a couple of weeks.
And the fans greeting them in Haifa. We're sorry that we can't be among them, but we will be back shortly with you. You'll get to see Simley's beautiful face back on the TV soon enough.
I understand they're going to have a wider screen next week.
High definition.
That's right.
So the fans starting to bang away there, and Haifa more than doubling up Ramat Gan early on. Well, let's just call it how it is. Ramat Gan is not the most talented team in the league, but maybe the least talented team in the league.
Yeah, well, them and
Holon.
Them and Holon are
combined 0 for 14.
They're taking shots at it. Here's Hanun, who went to the States for a couple of years, went to St. Louis, University of St. Louis for a couple of years, played there.
There's Jefferson going to work on Eddie Barlow. He's going to take the three-pointer. They give it to him. Hits the back rim, and Ewing with the D rebound. And there's McCullough with the nice reverse move. Nice. That is some Showtime Taj McCullough style.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, that was I didn't like that shot by Davon. You know, he could have gotten that same shot 4 passes later.
Taj McCullough, his first season here, he is out of Atlanta, Georgia, averaging 12 points a game, and he has almost about that much already here with that fancy up and under move.
6'7", very good athlete.
Played last year in the NBDL and was not picked in the draft, but did try out with the Washington Wizards and from there down to the development league. Jason Rich for 3, off the mark.
Ito Fujikawa's in the game for Ben Strong.
Ito Fujikawa, according to local publications, getting into a bit of a skirmish this week in practice with Jeremy Tyler, and he's been the mentor for the young kid and trying to teach him the hard road as well, as we see Ramat Gan making a little comeback.
And Barlow making a nice jump shot from Sam Houston State.
Lead down to 7. We'll be right back. So as you see in the bottom of your screens, your highlights from the soccer league. We like to
my
keep
team won. Ramat Gan won 1-0. I was at the game in Kfar Saba. They beat Ra'anana.
And you see the score from Haifa, 4-0. Of course, those are the scores. We'll get you all the highlights.
Both Haifa teams
and
won
halftime.
4-0.
Weekly review in basketball and in soccer. So little did you know that not only being, a main color commentator in Israel, Simi, also a rabid soccer fan.
No, a Paul Ramat Gan fan. A lot of my friends will coach and management. And here's Moshe Mizrahi. You see what he has. He's more than doubled his output and points average.
Hasn't missed a shot yet.
Yeah,
tonight.
he's 3 for 3 from 3. That's
so wait, 3 times 3 times 3.
Three
Oh, that's
times
9,
three?
isn't
That's
it?
9,
Okay,
yeah.
there you go. Plus
He
another
got
bucket, that
9
gives you
points
11.
off of that, yeah.
Yeah. Go figure. And here is Jason Rich and Richard Roby making his first appearance of the night. In for Mizrahi, so he takes the seat. Kujikara up front. And Richard Roby had a nice game last week. We had him in our studio after the game. Nice passing
play.
between the big men.
Walk.
You call a walk.
All right.
But Richard Roby last week, 15 points, big off the bench, and that's the first turnover of the night. Can you believe it? Roby, of course, at the University of Colorado, and a huge score from there, a top scorer in that school's history, in fact. Jumper there by Itzik Ochanon.
Ochanon, 6'6", 6'7" player. Just never made it to the level that everybody thought he would be at. A lot of potential.
And just like that, you see an 8-0 run. Haifa had a 13-point lead, and now it is down to 5. Kujikaro down low with the left hand. Nice touch there from Kujikaro with the foul.
And this is bread and butter free throw. They don't have, except Otis Hill. I don't know if Otis is in the game, but he's the only one that has the physical strength.
Looks like McCullough's got some trash talking strength. The two of them having some words around the free throw line. As Hajjaj takes a seat and Benda in his place. And Kujikaro down to 9 points a game. And a quite a good free throw shooter for a big man. You see the numbers early on, just a single missed free throw for Haifa. As we're in the last minute here of the first. Ramat Gan trying to cut that lead down. And McCullough, he's been their main offensive threat all the way. Tough shot. Ochanon with a follow-up, and he gets hacked by Kujikaro.
Kujikaro's a tough time on Ochanon because he's an athlete. He moves with the ball. Without the ball, goes to the basket. Daniel God is very upset that they didn't call the foul on Davon.
And Ochanon goes to the line. A 75% free throw shooter. Ochanon is averaging under 4 points a game and not getting that many minutes either.
Big disappointment for this club this year. Big, Aaron. This is he was supposed to be the premier Israeli player on the team. For the Ramat Gan team, they paid a lot of money for him, and he's just not doing it. I mean, like you just said, he's 4 points a game.
Benda pulls up from 3. Way off the mark.
Nice pass.
Kujikar with the rebound. Yeah, we'll call it a pass. Give him an assist for that. And Ito doing what he does best, cleaning up the garbage and taking out the trash.
I don't know what you ate tonight, Aaron, but I want some too.
I dazzle myself sometimes. 10-point lead for Haifa with 18 seconds to go.
Taking out the trash. I mean, oh yeah, you're married.
So at halftime, we'll have updates for you from all the other games going on this evening. Currently, Bnei Sharon up on Holon, who, like Ramat Gan, searching for their first
that referee before that you saw before in your thing was Omer Esteron. Very short fuse. Not this ref. One out to the basket. 10 seconds to the quarter.
Ewing trying to break down Benda. Isolation play for him. And he finds a wide open man in the corner. Misses that. Benda's going to heave.
Good. It's good.
It's no good.
Nothing.
So 30-20. Haifa ends the first with a 10-point lead and having their way so far with Ramat Gan. We're going to take a quick break and come back to summarize the first quarter for you. So you see the scores early on at the bottom of your screen there. Ashkelon with playing against Maccabi Tel Aviv early on, and the other games in progress. Haifa got the early start. Tomorrow night, Netanya and Galil. Yeah, that wasn't very pretty. I have yet to see someone, Simi, shoot one of those fans and actually get a bucket. I mean,
you want me to shoot one of the fans?
It might be more entertaining than them trying to shoot free throws, because at least you might nick part of them. I mean, they're not getting anything out there. So as we wait for the second quarter to begin, you see a Romema Arena, which is rather empty. This is probably one of those games where the fans would skip on it, because really not one of the most biggest draws of the year. A Ramat Gan team doesn't draw as many fans. But next week we have Afula on the road. And then after that, of course, a month break for Christmas, and we'll be back afterwards with a fresh slate of games. You see some of the stats from the first quarter and complete domination of Maccabi Haifa from all ranges there. Free throws, 2 points, 3 points. Haifa so far having their way.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you see 6 for 7 from the foul line. That means they're also going to the basket, which is a very important thing in the game.
And we're underway. McCullough gets stopped down low. Eddie Barlow pulls up for 3, way off the mark.
See, that has nothing to do with basketball, that shot. You know, it's not part of the game. Eddie Barlow should be running a team. Here we see the packed-in 2-on-2 zone of the Ramat Gan team.
And you also see our first appearance of the night
There
for
it
Jesse
is, Money.
Rosa.
Money. Oh, he missed.
And he missed. First time this evening for Moshe to miss. And Haifa going with a bunch of small forwards out there. 3 of them, actually. Pilot Rosa, Mizrahi, and Richard Roby. So interesting lineup that Haifa has out there now with 3 Israelis. And we've seen this again, Sammy. We're not used to seeing a Haifa team without either, at least Jefferson or Rich, one of them out there. That's usually when they lag, but I guess Sadi Ashkenazi tonight figuring he can afford to roll the dice with Ramat Gan a little bit. McCullough with the ball. And Ewing now trying to work on Ben David. McCullough with a spin move and nice finish there. He took Roby to the hole and the lead down to 8. Taj McCullough Taj McCullough, not Todd McCullough. Yeah. He played for the 76ers, didn't he?
Yeah.
So Taj is surpassing his season average of 12 points. Polo Rosa finds himself wide open and pulls the trigger.
Haifa got to get out of doing that. They've got to start working the ball like they did before. You know, I mean, this is, you know, it's the type of thing where whoever has it just fires it. And this is a professional league, and they better get back into playing basketball.
This looks like a playground game. Just everyone taking it in isolation on their own and chucking it up from 3. So you hope that Haifa doesn't play down to the level, because that tends to happen sometimes. So when teams,
exactly
play a certain way.
Exactly right, especially when they felt so comfortable at the beginning.
So it is Haifa ball. Ben David leading the attack over here, and along with Jesse Rosa, another one of those guys who had a nice performance off the bench last week too, scoring 15 points for Haifa.
Yeah, he really got physical and went strong to the bucket.
And there he is with Barlow in his face, looking down low, and there is Roby working baseline, hang time,
very nice play.
And a bucket.
He took the hit, Roby. You saw him up there, and he gathered himself in the air and banked it off the backboard. Nice play. Coach Bezelik would be really proud of you. University of Colorado.
He's a very athletic player, so we see Davon back in the game. And Roby, one of those guys who can really take off and have the airtime to complete a play, even if he does miss the free throw over there. One of the, aside from Jefferson, perhaps the top athlete on that team.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, Jason Rich.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
well,
missed on that. Jason Rich can jump through the roof. We have the luxury most of the season to watch these teams also warming up before the game. And I got to tell you, seeing Jason Rich just jump up and dunk the ball so easily is quite a sight. Lead back in double figures as Ewing now trying to set something up. Ohanon, nowhere to go. Managed to get it to McCullough, and he's going to take the ball on his own as he has all night, but he's gone cold now. So he was hot early on, McCullough, going on his own, and now
foul against Ramat Gan.
Rump's catching up to him. We see there in the back of your screen, Kazoo going to come back into the game. Sean Daniel gets called for his second foul of the night.
Oh, what a play. What a play, Bender. You see, that's what I'm talking about. They're hitting the seam of the zone all the time after time. Now, the big man has a choice of coming up and getting him in the middle or not. He comes up, then the guy underneath is open for the shot. And that's what's happening, and then they're getting fouls called against them.
And that is the second foul against Taj McCullough. He's going to stay in the game, it looks like.
Yeah, but these are the things you have to work on in practice. You know,
Kujikaro drills the first one from the line. And you see Kujikaro, perfect so far for the night, a 77% free throw shooter on the season. Continues to be perfect.
And what has to happen now, there's 7.5 minutes left to the first half. You know, Haifa has to pull up and really tighten themselves up and play tough defense and blow them out of the water. Make it a 25-point halftime lead.
You see number 10, Chen Zigdan, in the game as well.
He's from the youth program of the Haifa team. I mean, of the Ramat Gan team. It's his.
And that was a youth-looking shot over there. Haifa dominating the rebound so far. Nice look over there. Roby wide open drills it.
And all of a sudden it's a 15-point lead.
And that's just Haifa playing their game. They allow the games to come to them. They are just a far superior basketball team.
They're making them guard them. And when you play against the zone, if you move the ball moves quicker than the player.
McCullough answers.
And that's where he had a good shot. He was stationary, got the good pass, shot it up, knocked it down.
Not trying to do too much. He's been the main offensive surge for Ramat Gan early tonight, but a lot of ill-advised shots to go along with his successes as well. Here's Pilot Rosa from three. And this thing's turning into a three-point shot competition. Kujikaro gets the rebound, puts it in.
Happy birthday.
The dirty work.
It's Hanukkah.
It is
You got a
Hanukkah,
present.
and there's some gelt for Kujikaro.
That's right. And, obviously, no, they're not taking a timeout. They're going to keep going.
And we mentioned early on, Hanukkah's a time of miracles, and maybe
Maybe I'll lose weight.
You know what? That should be your
That'll
Hanukkah
be
resolution.
A miracle.
But it's probably the wrong holiday to be wishing for that with all of those donuts and
I'm not eating them.
latkes.
I'm not.
You gotta love that.
Yes.
The latkes, man.
Yeah, man. I know.
Yeah.
Now, you can do it a lot of ways. You can do it straight up latkes. You can do it jam. You can do it applesauce.
Applesauce with cream cheese on it. You
Cream-
can't go wrong.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a lot wider. Here we go. Roby playing that tough defense. And that's what you like to see. You
Barlow
making
looking out of
it
control.
tough, and all of a sudden there are 4 or 5 seconds on the 3, 2, 1. 24-second clock going off now. And that's playing defense. Making the other team play real hard, taking out of their offense, which I don't really see much of an offense. And we got a timeout. And what do? We go
Take
buy
a break.
Go buy clothing.
All right, we'll be right back. So you see the Haifa timeout there, the gathering around, and we got a glimpse there of number 8, who's back to us. Jeremy Tyler had his best game of the season 2 weeks ago against Netanya, and we've been following his progress all year. And a week ago against Nahria, again, not getting off the bench.
Yeah, well, it was a tough game, and it was only the fourth quarter and the overtime. They could have lost the game without problem. You know, and Avi Ashkenazi's job is to win. I mean, make him a better player, but win.
Of course, Nahariya, led by Yaakov Gino, given Haifa all that they could handle a week ago in a game which also seemed to be lopsided on paper, but like we've seen so many times, Nahariya just had more fight in them last week. And
yeah, you know, I give a lot of credit to Gino that he played so hard. He had his team ready, undermanned. Americans that are, you know, what can I tell you?
Look at that, Ito Kujikara, without even noticing, 9 points tonight already.
It is average.
Hitting his average. And he's one of those guys who we interviewed after the game against Galil earlier this season, and he's had some up and down games statistically, but he said, I'd rather score 2 points and win than have the big game and us lose. And really one of those team players who not too concerned about the stats, but putting up some nice numbers so far this season. There's Jesse pulling up, drilling.
There we go. After 4 or 5 passes, Jesse gets a good look at the basket. The guy didn't come out on him, and he knocks it down.
So the lead now 16, the biggest of the night, as we're halfway through the second quarter.
There we got Zigdon with the ball. It's about 5'9", 5'8". Otis Hill.
And the call is a foul. Looks like it's going to be on Kujikaro.
Kujikaro, yeah.
I got to tell you, this is our 8th game this season, Simi, and it looks like this team, Ramat Gan, is probably the poorest we've seen so far. We've seen Halon, which hasn't won either, but at least they had some kind of semblance of a guy, a go-to guy, a Dwayne Mitchell, or some kind of offensive threat. This team really just looks like a playground team out there. Jesse hustling a little too late, but and hitting the post-game interview location. You got to like the hustle.
It was good defense by Davon. He's playing in the passing lane, stuck his arm out, knocked it down, and all of a sudden you have 14 on the 24-second line.
Otis Hill one-on-one against Kujikaro, hits the rim, and Thomas going up high there. Jason Thomas, his first
American University.
Yeah, and came to Israel here, and
a new immigrant.
Yeah, and became a honest-to-goodness Israeli, and averaging almost 5 points a game as one. You see the field goal numbers, and Ramat Gan struggling. They have been just tossing up some tough shots.
A lot of it is poor shot selection. You know, I mean, Aaron, I mean, you know, if you move the ball around a little bit, you're going to land up or make your cuts and set your picks. You're going to land up with a half-decent shot. A lot of times they're just coming down and firing away.
Julian Kazoo has been quiet so far. He's their leading scorer with 14.7 points a game. And kind of unfortunate that we can't be there tonight and meet the fella. It sounds like he's got an interesting story. Family from Lebanon, grew up in Australia, played in Belgium, like so many players we see here in Israel who've seen the world and been around.
Layup like that.
And an existential question, such like as that, City. How do you miss a layup? You know, what is the sound of a layup happening? You know, in an empty forest when the tree falls down.
Wow.
You know, philosophical stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been one of those.
This is deep.
One hand clapping, huh? All right. Yeah.
Well, we know what the sound of Ito Kujikaro jump shot sounds like.
That's right.
Benda down to Kujikaro. Nice look.
Nice pass.
And Davon
gets murdered and they don't make the call.
Davon has 7. You know he's going to get his, averaging just under 18 points a game. And look at the assists. That pretty much tells it all. A team that's looking for each other passing, and a team that only has 3. Rejected by Kujikaro. Rich floats down
Oh,
to Jefferson.
yes, Jason Rich.
Not just too easy for Haifa.
You know, their coming back on defense is a horror show.
20-point lead for Haifa. Under 3 to go. 45-25.
What I tell you, nice. All right, that's a bad call. I thought Ido played good defense. I don't remember exactly. I think Ido went against Hill when they were together in Nahria. I'm not sure if they were together because Hill played with Nahria.
Hill's been around the block here in Israel. Played a bunch of times before. Played with Galil. And he's a veteran. He's 35 and a half years old. One of the older players in our league.
He played for Jim Boeheim at Syracuse with Bernie Fine, my buddy. The assistant coach that's been there forever.
Looks like Brenner might have walked there. They do not call it. Daniel to the hole, and nice little move by him. We're going to give him the bucket and the foul. Moti Daniel.
Yeah, not
or
Moti.
Moti's his dad. He looks like his dad a little bit.
Yeah, but what can I tell you?
Yeah. His dad, of course, one of the best sixth men ever to play in Israel. Classic bench player from Maccabi Tel Aviv in their great years in the 1980s.
Yeah, grew up in Holon, just like his son.
And the grandfather, too, Musa.
Yeah,
It's third generation of Daniels in Israeli basketball.
Yeah. His dad played for George Washington University, for Kuster, who is now the coach of the Detroit Pistons.
And Jefferson gets hacked, no call.
They don't give him anything.
Kazoo finishes, and that's his first bucket of the night. And that's sweet music to someone else's ears. Hence the name Kazoo.
Wazoo.
Yeah. So the lead down to 16 as Haifa trying to finish off this half strong in a half they have pretty much dominated from the get-go.
And
They've been strong back in the game.
The thing is to finish above 20. He took the hit, made the shot, basket should be good.
And it is. So Haifa adding to its lead, and Jason Rich and Davon Jefferson feel like they're taking candy from a baby right now.
And they should make the lead above 20 by halftime. Go into the locker room and relax. Listen to the coach yell at you.
And you know what?
And then come out and blow them up at 40.
It would be nice to see for a change a blowout, also just for morale purposes, but also to really give Ashkenazi a chance to include some of those players that we haven't seen. Of course, we mentioned Tyler, but another player who's been buried this year is Todd Golden. He had some nice minutes a year ago, was in the starting lineup at some point, and this year has played a single game. So
yeah, he played a lot last year.
We're fans of his. We hope he gets a chance to play tonight.
Kid's a great shooter, great kid. Played on the American Maccabiah team for coach of Tennessee, Bruce Pearl.
And we mentioned things that we see here sometimes that you folks at home do not, and that's the warm-ups. And I can tell you, I know it doesn't count for much in the stat sheet, but in the warm-ups, nobody can touch Todd Golden. That guy can just shoot the lights out.
No, and that's the whole thing. These guys didn't realize it's an 8-second call. You have to get the ball over half court within 8 seconds. Even if the ball goes out of bounds, the 8 seconds continues on, and that's, you know, just not being aware.
As far as turnovers are concerned, it's been a fairly cleanly played first half. Only 3 turnovers each. Barlow goes, tosses it out, nice look. There is Daniel. And, wow, it can't. Brenner, my mistake. Brenner gets the lucky roll. Could have been offensive interference on Kazoo, was not called. Rich with the move, gets yanked from behind. They had a foul to give with a minute to go.
You know, it's...
Now Ashkenazi looking down his bench, and who's going to get the lucky call? That will be Jesse Pilot Rosa.
Yeah. Take
a look at Tyler, Ronnie Streck, and there is Todd Golden way at the bottom of the bench, and that's a lonely feeling over there.
I've been there.
So have I.
Been there.
Most of our playing time we spent over there.
Been there, had that.
And the high arching free throw by Rich. Nothing but net.
They're over the limit, Ramat Gan, and every foul is a 2-shot foul, and it's now 17. gotta love this kid, you know. I mean, he brings so much to the table, you know. Daniel, I think it's a foul on Daniel, and Belaros's going to go to the line now.
And so, as if Haifa not getting enough freebies in this first half, Ramat Gan showing their charitable spirit here. It is the holiday time.
Yep, 'tis the season to be happy.
And if you're a Haifa fan, you're pretty happy right now. They have
Yep.
dominated this first half. The lead up to 19.
19-point lead. Or Brenner. A couple of years ago, I took him to 5-star. Had a good 5-star outing. Pittsburgh. That's a great Howard Garfinkel. Oh. Call
And
a foul.
foul on Palo Rosa.
Yeah,
So now Daniel's going to go to the line. So,
foul
you know,
somebody 30 feet from the basket when he's
you know
not
what they
even
say,
looking.
it's better to give than to receive. I guess they figured, you know, you were so nice to us. On the other end, let's give you some freebies right over here. And Daniel rattles it in. Sean Daniel averaging just over 8 points a game this season. Less than a 70% free throw shooter, but he gets 2 that time.
And it's a 17-point lead.
So the Israelis from Haifa really having their way. They've scored 20 so far and 7 assists, while the Israelis on Ramat Gan, only 9 points, not a single assist. There's Rich, going to work, spins in the lane.
Oh,
No good.
got thrown on the floor and nobody called it. And here they're going to call for one shot. You see the coaches over there yelling.
And Ewing isolating against Palot Rosa. Down to 10 now. Starts to make his move. There's Brenner going baseline. And the three-point attempt, no good. Time expires, and that'll do it in the half. 51-34 Haifa in what has been a easy evening so far for Avi Ashkenazi's troops.
Yeah, I mean, they tightened up the defense. Haifa tightened up the defense, gave up 14 points in the second quarter. Played a nice, got into the flow of it. Mizrahi leading with 11, Kushikaro, Jefferson, those are your players, and Strong, your players under the bucket.
And you see
McCullough got
Ramat Gan, he's
16.
the only guy. McCullough with 16 out of their 34 points. They're going to need somebody else to step up for them. Balanced attack, like you said, for Haifa. As we can take a look at some of the other statistics here, and Haifa really just dominating them so far. So let's send you off to our halftime presentation now. We've got the week in review in basketball, the week in review in soccer. When we come back, we're going to talk about Omri Caspi. Another great week for him in the NBA. Simi and I will be right back with the second half.
Shalom and welcome to season 2009-2010 of the Israeli Premiership Basketball League. These are the highlights of the 7th round. I'm Gil Barak. Here we go. Ironi Nahariya hosted Maccabi Haifa at En Sarah Arena. The visitors started the 4th quarter down by 5, but then Devon Jefferson got into a zone and with 10 straight points gave his team a 6-point advantage, and it seems as if the game was done. Nahariya didn't give up, and Sean Taggart, who scored 19 points in the game, carried his team to be down by only 2, and Delaney, who had 20 for the night, even the score at 68. Haifa had the last ball, but Hajjaj couldn't manage to put the ball in the hole, and the game went into overtime. Haifa had 23 turnovers in regulation, while Nahariya had only 11. But in the overtime, it was Gino's team who couldn't get a hold on the orange object. The Greens took advantage of it, scored easy points to seal the deal. Haifa won 83-75 and got its 4th victory in a row. Maccabi Tel Aviv visited the last ranked team in the league, Hapoel from the city of Holon. Gershon decided to leave Anderson out of the rotation. Holon missed injured Lifshitz and Pered. Maccabi's point guard Andrew Vishnievsky had an amazing first half as he scored 18 points with 100% from the field, including 5 from 5 from beyond the arc. At the break, Maccabi was already up 50-29. During the break, Chuck Itzon got a phone call from his wife who told him that their son was suffering from a high fever, and after consulting with his team's coach and staff, Itzon and the team's doctor left the arena and went to Chuck's house. Maccabi had no problem taking care of business without him. In fact, the gap only rose in his absence. Dwayne Mitchell took all of his frustration from the game out of Guy Pnini with a very harsh foul. All in all, Holon couldn't even complete simple plays, and the fans kept on shouting for the resignation of the team's coach Amir Uzi. It ended with an 88-63 Maccabi victory. Holon will have to look for its first victory next week against Bnei Sharon. In the game which opened the 7th round, Bnei Sharon hosted Gilboa Galil. Gal Mekel had his debut in Gilboa Galil and mainly focused on assisting his new teammates. He had 4 assists on the way to 11 points lead in favor of the visitors. But Gilboa Galil's problems were involved with its best player thus far, Jeremy Pargo. The point guard turned the ball over way too many times, and he admitted that that was his worst game since he came to Israel. Gilboa Galil paid the price as Ron Steele scored 17 points, most of them in the money time. At the end, Bnei Sharon won 85-83. First quarter between Barak Netanya and Maccabi Rishon LeZion, we saw a head-to-head fight between Tony Wisham from Netanya and Delaron Johnson from Rishon LeZion. Wisham ended the first 10 minutes with 3 3-pointers and 15 points, which led his team to a 13 points lead. On the other end of the floor, Johnson kept the visitors in the game. At the break, the score was 48-38 for the home team, 18-17 to Wisham. In the second half, Netanya's forward added only 2 points, while Johnson continued his great shape. In 7 minutes to the end, Netanya's lead was only 4 points. Fortunately for the host, they had Marco Killingsworth, who ended up with 28 points. At the end, Netanya won 94-87 and continues to be a major factor in the league. Effie Birenborn and Rishon LeZion keep on crashing. In a game with no defense throughout, Eli Rabbi's Ironi Afula hosted Ironi Ashkelon. The best player on the floor was Justin Dentmon, who simply couldn't miss. He had 5 3-pointers for the night and 30 points, which led his team to a 30 points lead. Ashkelon managed to cut down the gap to only 6, but it was too little too late. Afula wins 106-92 and gets its 4th W out of 7 games. Afula wins 106-92 and gets its 4th W out of 7 games. These were the highlights of the 7th round of the Israeli Premiership Basketball League. Thanks for watching. I'm Gil Barak. Check us out next week. Shalom and welcome to season 2009-2010 of the Israeli Premiership Soccer League. These are the highlights of the 11th round. I'm Gil Barak. Let's go. One goal by Ahmad Saba fixed Maccabi Netanya with a home victory over Maccabi Tel Aviv. It was only last week when Tel Aviv got a great win over Maccabi Haifa but Netanya made sure that the visitors would get back to earth. 1-0 at the end. Maccabi Petach Tikva hosted Bnei Yehuda. In the 59th minute, Asi Baladut found Pedro Galvan, who made it 1-0 in favor of the visitors. A great goal by the Argentinian fixed Bnei Yehuda with its 7th victory of the season. Ironi Ashdod hosted Achim Natzeret. In the 35th minute, the visitors in blue managed to score. Yaniv Luzon was left alone and kept his composure against Stojkic and made it 1-0. 3 minutes later, Idan Sadeh was left open to equalize the score. Deep in the extra time, the ball reached Shriki, who couldn't score against Gil Ofek, but the ball went back to the goal area and Moshe Ochayon header sealed the deal. Ashdod grabbed its 3rd consecutive victory. Natzeret now carries 6 losses. Maccabi Haifa's Alon Kharazi, in his last game as an active player in the Premiership League, started on the bench against Bnei Saknin. In the 77th minute, it was Shlomi Arbitwan with his 11th goal of the season after coming from the bench.
ארביטמן! מספר 11 שלו! יושב על הספסל, בודק מה העניינים. כל הגולים שלו הבקיע רק כשהוא נכנס כמחליף.
3 minutes later, Alon Kharazi entered the game and completed 527 games as a player. He almost scored, but that didn't ruin the outcome. Haifa won, Saknin 0. Hapoel Tel Aviv hosted Hapoel Haifa in order to stay close to Maccabi Haifa, which is ranked number 1. The first goal for Hapoel in red came in the 22nd minute as Eran Zehavi passed nicely to Schechter. The striker overcame his defender and found the net. 1-0 Tel Aviv. Schechter scores his 11th goal of the season. 5 minutes into the second half, Eran Zehavi's strike missed the goal. In the 61st minute, Zehavi passed to Schechter that was very close to make it 2-0 for his team. In the 74th minute, Haifa's defense didn't manage well. The ball got to Avichai Yadin, who provided the greatest moment of the game. Vermut, in the extra time, Vermut tried to fix Schechter with the 12th goal of the season, but the striker missed the goal by a few inches. It ended with Hapoel on top, 2-0. These were the highlights of the 11th round of the Israeli Premiership Soccer League. Thanks for watching. I'm Gil Barak. Check us out next week.
Those were your highlights, and this is Omri Caspi, who had another great week in the NBA. We look at some of the highlights last night against Minnesota.
Yeah, I did the game here for the Israeli TV. Omri came in the second quarter, and look what he does. He hits a three, slices between two guys, over somebody else, making the shot. You know, I mean, really, really the toughness. And here we see him tough again in the corner, nothing but net. You know, I mean, he's number 2 in the country in the NBA in three-point plays.
And let's listen to what he had to say after the game.
The mid-range.
Second day of Hanukkah, your family's in town, and you're shooting well. Could there be anything better in the world?
I came off the bench. I had to bring energy a little bit, you know. I thought we were a little sleepy a little bit. We had to tough up the defense. They scored 32 points in the first quarter. It's way too much for us. We want to keep them under 9 in this game. So I'm happy that I play well and I have my team.
And you see more of those stats there, becoming a media darling there. That time didn't quite connect, but stuck with it. And of course, this coming after a game where he has his career high 20 points against San Antonio, Simi.
Yeah.
He's proven that he belongs.
Omri is a given now. I mean, he's playing 25 minutes a game. He's shooting over 50% from the floor. He's shooting over 50% from the 3. He's a part of the rotation.
Let's take a look at the other games. Back to reality, as they say, here in Israel to see what else is happening at this time. We know what's happening in Haifa, but take a look at that. Rishon LeZion dominating Nahariya early on. Tel Aviv, as expected, over Ashkelon. But Hapoel Holon giving Bnei Sharon all they can handle so far in what would be the big upset of this round in Israel if they could pull it off.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean,
so let's take a look at the stats of our first half here, which we know was dominated by Haifa. The score 51-34, but you take a look there at the free throws, the field goals.
16
pretty much
to 6 on
free
throws.
Yeah, it's just a clean sweep, and the assists, of course, the big number there, showing you the style of the way they're playing. Haifa playing team ball, and Ramat Gan just jacking it up from 3 anytime they can get it.
13 assists to 5. Turnovers is even. Defensive rebounds, you know, it's tough to pull a defensive rebound, Ramat Gan, when you're pulling the ball out of the net all the time. So, I mean, don't know what to tell you.
That doesn't count in the stats when you pick it up from underneath the net.
That's right. It's really a lopsided game.
And you know what? After last week's performance in Nahariya, Haifa probably enjoying a little bit of breathing room, not having to...
You know, after 3 straight games on the road, it's nice to get back home. You know, a little home cooking.
And home Hanukkah cooking, hopefully. As
There
I mentioned
you
to
go.
Omri Caspi, their second night of Hanukkah, and
Yeah. His mom is over there. Spoke to his dad this morning. She's there. He's going to be going in February. God willing, he'll be in the rookie team in the All-Star game. You know, we got Davon just
goes to work early on and
taking money from a candy from a money.
or
from a
candy
kid.
from a baby.
Yes, I
maybe.
know.
Yeah, well, whatever
You
it is, he did it.
understood.
I know what you. I
I
already feel what you.
I know.
Well, if Davon can continue that, he might be joining Omri soon in the NBA. That's the hope, at least,
Yep.
for him. And
Yeah.
if there's one guy in the Israeli league who's showing that kind of NBA potential, it is Davon Jefferson. Mizrahi can't connect after the hot start early on. He had 11 in the first half.
And it was a good look. He was wide open, shoot it up. You know, why not? I mean, their defensive transition is horrible.
McCullough, nice
Tough.
move over there, but yeah, he's one of those guys who never saw a pass he didn't like, never given the ball up. He has 18 so far. Nobody else on his team has more than 4 points, so he's really the only offense his team has. Look at that, exactly half of his team's points. Taj McCullough. Hajjaj throws up the floater, hits nothing. And Ironi Ramat Gan going to try and make something happen here with a new look there. They've got number 8 there, Jason Thomas, who's in the game. And McCullough, again. This guy is unconscious right now. He's got 20 points. And, well, Haifa's got to figure out that nobody else is doing anything.
Yeah,
for
you
them.
know, you let people back in the game, it's a problem. And they got a foul against number 8. Our man from American University, Jason Thomas.
Jefferson makes his move, and he's going to get...
Oh, wow. They called an offensive foul.
An offensive foul.
No,
No,
they
bucket
called a
and foul.
basket good.
Either way, though, Jefferson had a wide open look from 3. He gives it up. He says, I'm going to take it to the hole. I can take these guys whenever I want. And while doing so, gets another foul on Taj McCullough, which is crucial because this guy is really the only one performing tonight for Ramat Gan.
It's a horrible call. It was an offensive foul against Davon. You know,
Looks like
I
they fixed
just
it.
hope Sophia and Ruby don't hear me.
Well, it
That's
happens.
his mom and grandma.
It happens.
Yeah.
Even Davon Jefferson. And McCullough now can try and go to work on Davon. Mano a mano here. And you see what happened to that exchange. And now McCullough asking for the foul. So we got a showdown here between the two top scorers of each teams. Jefferson wide open for three. He's going to take it. No good, but the rebound by Hajjaj. So a slow start here in the third. We're 2.5 minutes into it. Not a lot of scoring to show. Rich with the move.
Nice.
Gets
Good
a nice
defense.
by Thomas there.
Yeah. Good defense.
When you look at the scores from Ramat Gan, it's kind of surprising because they have a pretty evenly spread out offense. Kazoo at 15 points a game. And Brandon Ewing with 14. Eddie Barlow at 13.3. Actually, McCullough is only their fourth leading scorer at 12 a game. But tonight, it's been all him. Jefferson passes it up to Mizrahi, and he gets the roll.
Davon threw a nice pass. You saw the man coming over on the rotation. Gave a wobbly pass to Moshe, and Moshe knocks it in.
It's a wobbly shot, but it counts. 13 for him. Leading scorer for Haifa. There is McCullough.
And they call the foul against a judge.
But it's not going to count.
Before.
But you'd think that Avi Ashkenazi here, their team leading by 20 points and taking a timeout now.
Television timeout.
So we'll take a quick break too. .640 to go in the third. Haifa up by 20 in what has been a breezer so far, 58-38. And even the dancers in Haifa having an easy time this evening as enjoying this large, comfortable lead.
Aaron, you know, one of the things I don't like is, you know, a team could be weak. It doesn't have a big budget. You know, that happens. It's out of your control as a coach. But to run your offenses and make your team players play hard and see, go to your strengths and try to cut off the other team, this is something you want to see, even though you might not succeed. But that's your job as a coach. And a lot of these games I watch, and it's just not there. I mean, you know, I was calling it Swiss cheese right from the beginning, if you remember.
You want to get an A for effort, even if your team
make your team play hard. These kids are getting paid.
Ewing in the game, and that's a nice looking offense there, and Barlow cannot connect, but at least we saw really a nice looking offense there.
Yeah, the ball moved around. You see, that's what I liked about Gino last week, about the Naria team.
Rich,
oh, wow,
Jason. And a foul.
Took the hit and made the shot.
Jason Rich, an explosive guard and one of your top value players in Israeli fantasy basketball. For those of you who aren't using it yet, it's IsraelFantasyHoops.com. You can choose your favorite players each week and take a part in the Israeli League. And we're in week number 8 of it. Next week, our final week before the Christmas break, and of course a 22-week-long season followed by a couple rounds of playoffs. So lots of action left to come as we see a nice move there by Ewing.
Ewing went really sliced the defense.
Jason Rich in and out, but look at Jefferson coming out of nowhere there with the save. Out to Hajjaj. Can he complete it? No good, but wow, what a save by DJ.
What a steal by Hajjaj.
And there's hustle. And
that's what I'm talking about. And that's what I'm talking about, getting back on defense and trying hard and stopping the other team. And he's up by 20. You know, he could have let him go through, but that's the difference.
When you see a player like Jefferson, your team's best player, jumping for those rebounds and diving for loose balls that can only inspire the other players on
Without
the
a
team.
doubt. And that's one of the things that Davon has changed this year. He's become more of a leader. Not that vocal, you know, but just by being a very good example. Oh
And
my God.
you know what? It is Hanukkah. Miracles do happen there.
Yes.
The
I
three-pointer
mean, he has to smile on that one.
by Jason Thomas. Come on, you got to crack a smile on that. Hit the back rim. The ball went flying up in the air and came back down. So Iron Ramat Gan is going to take all the help they can get right now. Mizrahi, another three. But no good so far in the second half for him. Kazoo for three. And he pulls it
and all of a
down, the
sudden,
7-footer.
14-point lead from a 20-point lead to 14.
An 8-0 run for Ramat Gan. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it.
And you have big feet, and they call you Longfellow. I'm glad you like that one.
I love that one. Sammy.
So here comes Ben Strong,
And he's a
going
big
to the
fella.
basket, and there was a walk, I think. I'm not sure, but maybe not. Maybe
So,
yes.
Simi, wagers, what do you think? Are we going to get to see those guys who haven't gotten a lot of minutes for Haifa?
I don't know. You know, it's all of a sudden it's a 14-point game.
Jeremy, Tyler, Todd, Golden, of course, their guys even deeper on the bench. Ronnie Stark has not seen a minute all season long.
Nice kid. Another kid that I took to 5-star years ago. Loved it.
Brandon Ewing. Out to Kazoo. Deep three. Cannot connect. The rebound by Richard Roby, who just entered the game. Under 4 minutes to go. And they are going to call the foul on Brandon Ewing. Dwar Hajjaj out to Kujikaro. Doesn't look like he's going to take a shot there for three after that miracle shot a couple weeks ago. Jefferson gets stripped by Thomas, who's having some nice minutes out there. Jason Thomas, 4.7 points a game, the new immigrant from American College. And
Which is in Washington, D.C.
indeed, and from a bright spot of a light tonight for Ramat Gan, having some nice minutes out there. Ewing down to Kazoo is going to go to work on Kujikaro, and way short, barely grazed the rim on that one. As here comes Haifa. Kujikaro running, tries to dip it down to...
He had a great idea trying to throw it to Davon, because there's no better finisher in Israel than Davon Jefferson.
And a steal
What
by
a
Hajjaj.
steal.
Look at the anticipation on that, and leading the break, two, throws it up
Yeah,
to
oh.
Rich. Oh, almost a Showtime ending there, and Jefferson cleans up the mess. But wow, that was great offense by Dwar Hajjaj there.
Yep.
Davon now has 16 to lead his team. Under 3 to go in the third. And you see Ramat Gan after that 8-0 run. They go cold for 2 and 15. Kazoo with the rebound. Sean Daniel, nice move, nice finish. Sean Daniel averaging 8 this year, has 6 so far. And he got
Instead
lost
of
there.
doing the simple things, you ought to just pull up and shoot an 8-foot jump shot, Jason, instead of trying to force it. Do the simple things. Basketball is simple.
But the game really slowing down to somewhat of a pedestrian pace here. You really have the feeling that there's not a lot of energy in this one, Simi.
No, there isn't. You know, I mean, the problem with Haifa is they feel they can score it anytime they want. 4 seconds on the 2 seconds here.
Jason has to, Jefferson has to let it go. Kujikaro with the rebound. And it gets stripped.
And he
Here
got
comes
hit.
Thomas. Look how quick that guy is, and he finishes it nicely.
And all of a sudden it's 12.
So Jason Thomas with some nice minutes here for Ramat Gan, giving them a spark off the bench in the absence of Taj McCullough. Palot Rosa in the game. Out to Kujikaro. He's trying to make his move. Rejected by Kazoo.
This is what I'm talking about. Instead of people just trying to do the things that they should be able to do, that's not Kujikaro's game. He's not an offensive player. I mean, he misses 1 inch. He's trying to shake and bake.
And Ironi Ramat Gan making sounds of a comeback here, perhaps,
Yeah.
with a minute and a bit to go. Barlow finds a wide open Kazoo for 3, and a rebound by Jefferson. He's going to take it on his own and try to finish on his own. He gets fouled.
Shikaro complaining to the referees about not calling a foul. That's not your game. Just play your game.
And Jefferson
Set
only
the,
going to the line, trying to help UNF back on his feet, doing everything out there
set
tonight.
the picks. Make your 1 inchers.
So Danny Gutt going 10 deep tonight for Ramat Gan. We've seen 10 players come off the bench, and got to tell you, besides some nice shooting from McCullough and a few nice minutes there from Jason Thomas, not having a lot to show for all those players.
Yeah, and Davon misses the foul shot. You know, it's all of a sudden it's a 12-point game. People better wake up. What a horrible call. Otis Hill knocked it out.
Davon Jefferson, a 70% free throw shooter. Haifa only shooting 71.5% as a team. And you see this quarter, the struggling from all parts of the field. So in the last minute here, Ironi Ramat Gan has gotten it down to 12 points and even make more damage. There is Ewing. Bad shot. No look to pass there. And here comes Roby. And Jason Rich going baseline.
Oh, man.
Kujikaro recovers.
Oh, my
but
God.
not enough, apparently.
Now,
It's
this
gonna be a
is
turnover.
what reminds me of last week's game. A lot of
errant passes and the
yeah,
turnovers
lack
starting to
of
rack up.
concentration.
Only 3 turnovers in the first half for Haifa, but they've surpassed that already here in the third. Benda in for Hajjaj. We see Hajjaj tonight at the 4 assists, but also 4 shots, of which he's connected on none. Hajjaj had his struggles earlier on this season on the offensive end, not scoring much, but he's picked up as of late and averaging 8.4 points a game. Haifa team really with only 2 guys in double figures. That's Jefferson and Rich, and then you got Kujikaro with 9, and Hajjaj the next leading scorer. So they're going to depend on him as the season goes by, because if there is one weakness of this team, I think we've talked about it throughout the season, is the lack of another offensive weapon. Jefferson's going to get his. Rich is consistent second option, but who the third guy is, it's a crapshoot. Anybody can come up.
but Moshe has done a good job today. Not the second half, but the first half.
Scored 11 in the first half on stellar shooting. He's only averaging 5 points a game for the season. And with under 12 seconds to go, the foul is called on Ben David.
Yeah, but and they're good fouls. You know why they're good fouls? Because they had fouls to give. And now the ball's on the side.
So this game, although you would think it would be, far from over. Ramat Gan has a chance here to go even under double figures going into the fourth. Thomas had the look for 3, but he gives it up to Barlow.
He didn't
and they're
even
gonna
look.
wait. Yeah.
You know, it's 7, 6, 5, 4.
Barlow pulls up. No good. The rebound by Roby. He's going to heave it from the free throw line.
Nothing but air.
And nothing but air. So an ugly third quarter there. Haifa only with 11. Ramat Gan not much better, but at least they trimmed the lead a bit, and we have ourselves a 12-point game going into the fourth. there are the numbers for Davon Jefferson. He has 16 tonight, and doing his job, that's for sure. He comes up and just delivers every night. That's his role on his team. You know what you're going to get from Davon.
That's part of the maturity that Davon brings to the table is being consistent, doing it, you know, dominating on the defensive boards, you know, doing what he has to do, getting the point. Just what he has to do less of is try to force it. You know, just his mid-range jump shot, he should do it more often because he has it. He's been working on it. And it's now time for some good defense.
A low-scoring affair as we go into the fourth, and we see still no sign of Jeremy Tyler or Todd Golden. They might not get their opportunity if this thing stays close. A whirling dervish shot there by Barlow, and he comes up short. Rich out to Roby. He's wide open, takes it to the hole.
What'd you say, Rich out to Roby?
Rich out to Roby.
Richard Roby.
And that had a nice ring to it.
I like this guy. I like the way he plays. He brings he has an all-around game. You know, he's not, if he doesn't do it in the scoring, then he does all the little things. He rebounds well. He plays good defense. You know, and they're calling it on the side, not a shooting foul.
How do you figure that?
You don't.
So Rich, the look to Jefferson, floats in there, cannot get the roll. Kuchikaro fighting for it, gets the rebound. Roby from the free throw line, still no good.
And that was a good play by Kuchikaro. You know, hitting the offensive boards, hitting the open player.
Ewing just throws it up there, a Hail Mary shot for him, and Ramat Gan's not going to get back in the game like that. And that's a nice look.
Nice play. Nice look. That's playing together.
Jefferson with 18 points, eclipsing McCullough as the game's top scorer, and McCullough has gone very quiet in the second half. Sitting on the bench most of it with foul trouble. And without him, they're looking for other options, and there is
Otis Hill hitting a J.
Otis Hill. As old as Father Time.
He is Father Time.
Kuchikaro out in the perimeter looking for Jefferson down low.
And the foul's on Daniel.
And that'll be it for him. Number 5 on Daniel, if indeed that is the foul called. And it is. He's finished. So Sean Daniel takes a seat. His replacement will be Ochanan.
Yep.
So an early exit this evening for Sean Daniel as Roby opens up for 3 off the mark, and there comes Thomas, who has been, at least in my eyes, pretty impressive this evening.
Yeah, Roby.
Otis Hill throws one up. Ochanan with the rebound. He's wide open. Nobody's coming out to him, and he waited for the defense to come and ends up taking a very tough shot.
Kuchikaro didn't have. Here we go. Oh, we missed the 1-incher. He should dunk that. And there's Davon.
The ball back.
Talking
Courtesy of Ramat Gan.
Talking about dunking.
Davon
there he is, Davon.
And Davon saying, "You want to give it to me? I will take it." 20 points for Davon, the easiest 20 he's had this season. Otis Hill comes up short. Davon the rebound, McCullough takes it away, and Davon just patting his stat sheet right now.
Walking
and Roby
on Roby.
Shuffled his feet.
Took a walk.
Took a hike. It's also the 4th period in Holon tonight where we have ourselves a really tight one. Bnei HaSharon up by a point over Holon, and Holon, like Ramat Gan, trying to get that first victory of the season in. They look to be in much better shape right now to do that. Barlow pulls up.
What are these guys thinking about?
And you see the numbers from three-point land, both teams at a 28% clip. Not very good. Benda all the way in. Nowhere to go. Paulo Rosa has it. Davon's wide open, and they're going to wait.
7
Isolation.
on 7, 5, 4. Nice offense. Oh,
And
wow.
Davon tips it in with the power move to the hoop. He gets a rebound and another bucket.
And it's a 16-point lead.
And
You
Jefferson,
gotta
22
love
and
the
8.
kid, man. He really plays hard. And it's, you know, the hard thing, going to the boards again and again.
We'll be right back with some more Davon Jefferson after this. And we're back, and as you see at the bottom of your screen, trianglestore.com. You can get there also from triangleinternet.tv, and there you have your Jeremy Tyler jersey, hat, and all your favorite Simi Rieger products over there.
Look, I have a problem. They ran out of double extra larges.
They should get one with your name on it, Simi. You know, that would be a fan favorite, I'm sure.
It should be a tent.
It could, you know, it could be.
You know, I'll tell you, I have an idea. I'm going to speak to the bosses about this, that they make a tent dress with my name on it, so the women can buy stuff too.
That'll be great. They can, you know, you can have like a
Yep.
block party in it.
Yes.
So we're back, under 6.5 to go here, and Ramat Gan, it's now or never, folks. You got to start showing what you're made of here, and so far we haven't seen much.
5 on the 24.
McCullough.
Whoa!
Rejected by Jefferson. What are they going to call that?
He's going to call it a basket.
And McCullough looks like he took a hit going down, grabbing, it looks like, his rear end, and he came down hard.
It might have been his tailbone.
And that is painful for anybody who has ever
Landed on their
through
tail.
that. He went strong to the hoop and lost his legs from underneath him, and then hit the deck hard.
The physiotherapist Benny out there helping him. He really a good physiotherapist.
And you see that McCullough is obviously in pain over there as his teammates looking on, and obviously with concern. It looks like it's a leg or lower leg or back issue. And the game suspended right now as the trainer taking a look there at Taj McCullough, the leading scorer for his team. He's going to step up and limp his way off the court.
That's tough, you know. You land, you play hard, you land. I didn't see any contact, to tell you the truth. They didn't call a foul or anything.
Nah, they
might have just had a bad angle or landed badly.
It looked like he lost his ankle in the air and just sort of did not come down on his legs. And these guys can jump pretty high, and it's a long way down. Gravity is pretty painful when you get up that high.
So it's back to 14.
Back to 14 as Jason Rich and Jefferson trying to put
Nice
finishing touches.
offense. Very good offense. Patiently, there was a back pick for Kujikaro, and Davon throws him a great pass.
The look down to Kazoo, and Jefferson holds off, and a nice follow there by Thomas, who's giving this team a spark. You see the field goal percentage, and that explains part of the story tonight. Haifa hitting 1 out of 2, and Ramat Gan just over 1 out of 3. So
What happened?
they're going to take their time with the substitution over here as they're waiting what's going on at the scorers table out of your screen. And Benda has the ball with 5.5 to go in this game. Jason Rich. Jefferson has been the man all night long tonight, putting up a huge statistical evening. Jesse trying to shake and bake and get open.
It's going up.
Takes a move, little fake. Hits the rim, and there is Jefferson with the rebound, but it gets swiped away from him. Ewing out to Brenner. No good. They've had their chances tonight, Ramat Gan, but cannot connect. Pelot Rosa the other way. Coast to coast, and he's fouled.
Goes hard to the basket, Jesse, that's for sure. Takes it right to the hole.
Jesse under 14 minutes of playing time this season, but he's done well with what he's had, almost 7 points a game, and a very good free throw shooter, 86.7 this season from the line. And he gets that one. In fact, he's the top free throw shooter for Maccabi Haifa this season.
Nice one-on-one defense with the block.
Benda finds Rich. Back to Benda. Unselfish play for Haifa. They've got all the time in the world right now.
And they're going to run an offense. That's what you like to see. They didn't have an advantage. They didn't force it.
Benda for three. Rebound Kujikaro.
And they're killing the kid, you know. They're killing Kujikaro, and he's not getting, because he's bigger and stronger doesn't mean that he doesn't get fouled.
Doesn't mean he doesn't have feelings too, right?
Yeah.
Back in the heyday of Shaquille O'Neal, they said you don't, just because he doesn't feel it doesn't mean he shouldn't call the foul. A new 24. And the ball bounces back to Rich there, so no breaks going Ramat Gan's way. 12 on the shot clock now. It's Haifa with a 16-point lead, and they've led all night long.
10 on the 24-second clock.
It's gone up and down for Haifa, their leads so far this evening, but it never felt like they were ever in any danger.
And that's
not with that guy.
At the buzzer of the 24-second clock, he lays it in. Nice pass by Kujikaro.
So another timeout. Haifa's lead now 18. We'll take a break. Take a look there at the numbers for Kujikaro, and good numbers for him, putting up 11 points, and look at that, 14 rebounds. That's a season high for him. Season high for anybody on Haifa, including 6 on the offensive end, and that's a classic Kujikaro line over there. That's Kujikaro at his best, not doing too much, but doing what he knows what to do.
Yeah, you know, Doe is very good at this level, and he's very difficult to guard when the other team doesn't match up well with him, and he's physical and he knows how to use his body, and that's to his advantage. You know, that's what he brings to the table. You know, he's not 6'9", jumps through the moon. He's, you know, maybe 6'6", and just a big, strong body and bangs, which is important too.
And again, in our league here in Israel, he's considered one of the big men. Anywhere else, he wouldn't be so. But in this league, a 6'6", 6'7", and a wide body, that's considered a big guy. And there we go. We called it. Todd Golden making his appearance, and so is Jeremy Tyler. So that is nice to see with 4 minutes to go. Jeremy Tyler making his first appearance of the night. You see the numbers for him this season. Not very impressive, to say the least. But nice to see him have some minutes out there tonight. And Todd Golden as well, only his second appearance of the season.
What is he thinking about shooting a 40-footer? What is he thinking about, that kid?
I don't know, Simi.
I mean, you're a shooter.
Yeah.
I was a point guard, so, you know, I hardly ever shot. I was making guys like you look good.
Yeah, well, that's what they do. But some guys just can't look good, you know, as much as you try.
Yeah, it's true too. I never thought of that.
Todd Golden in his single game this year.
Here it
played
comes.
7 minutes.
There we go. Nice play. Sorry, Jeremy Tyler
That's
gets
okay. That's it. That's
the
a news
foul.
break anytime.
Yeah.
Jeremy Tyler going to the hoop strong, getting and going to the free throw line. He's been there a couple of times this year. His first points of his career actually came from there. 2 for 4 on the season.
He has a
And
nice
it rolls in and out.
He has a nice touch. You know, you see the ball, it's on the rim, its spin is good. It's not like he's shooting bricks like Shaquille. There it is, money.
And there he is. And now you see him 3 for 6. As he has a point, and we hope to see more of that. A chance for him to show his what he has tonight. Of course, for those not following us all season, the first player ever to skip his final year of high school eligibility and going pro when he should be a high school senior right now.
High school senior, yeah.
And of course, the precedent set a year before by Brandon Jennings skipping college completely, going to Europe, and he's had himself quite a beginning, really, and running for Rookie of the Year in Milwaukee this year.
Somebody who makes 55 points in a game can't be all bad.
And of course, that's the precedent that Jeremy Tyler tried to take even one step further, and so far it's been a very humbling and troubling experience, but
he has to mature with it, and Davon's coming out. Standing ovation for Davon.
Yeah, well deserved.
Moshe Mizrahi back in.
There is Todd Golden. Getting some touches with Benda in the lineup. And Moshe Mizrahi, the lone starter out there now for
6
Haifa.
on the clock. You know Jesse's going to shoot it.
And he does.
Yep.
And it's no good. And Jeremy Tyler fighting there for the rebound, but it will remain around gun ball.
Yeah, and that's good because Jeremy has to show that he's active and bothering somebody and again making people, you know there's a difference between pulling a clean rebound or not. And here we go with a rebound.
That's a rebound.
Yeah.
Jeremy Tyler with one there.
Yeah.
Ben DeVee leading the attack. He's going to go all the way, flips it up. And look at Jeremy there running the floor. But now Barlow all alone. He's going to finish it. But rejected by Pelot Rosa, not giving up one bit and giving the fans something to cheer about here late in the game. That was a highlight reel. 4th block of the night for Haifa. Jeremy Tyler working down low on Kazoo with the move. Nowhere to go and throws it out again to Benda, who throws it up. And Jeremy's going to get an assist on that. And also a throwdown to the mat. Ooh. McCullough with some garbage time points.
Jesse's coming out.
And in comes Ronnie Stark. There you go.
Yeah,
His first appearance of the season, number 14, Ronnie Stark. And that is nice to see.
Kid grew up in the Haifa organization, and the turnover.
So if the players at the end of the bench are going to get a chance, it's in games like these, and we see them now all getting their chance. Tyler, Golden, and even Ronnie Stark. Golden with the rebound. To Mizrahi. Ronnie Stark.
Come on, Ronnie, take it to the hole.
There you go. Old Coach Simi is pushing you on. A minute and a half to go. Jeremy Tyler with the move. Goes up and he's fouled. And you see some of those tools that made him such an impressive high school player. A big guy and some nimble feet.
Yeah, you know, he's quick. He's quick, you know, he's not a slow kid, and he runs the floor well, and he just has to be more physical. He has to really get into dominating the boards. He's big and he's tall and he's agile.
An update from Holon, under 2 minutes to go there. Holon up by 2 against Bnei Sharon, trying to get their first victory of the year. We'll keep you posted. Jeremy Tyler continues 1 for 2. He's been there 8 times this year on the line, and every single trip, 1 for 2.
It's a double dribble that the ref didn't go on.
A deep 3 there. Zigdon.
Yep. Zigdon grew up in the Ramat Gan organization, the youth team.
Ooh, and a rejection there by Barlow. Gets it out of the hands of Mizrahi, who was going full force to the hoop.
And we're in the last minute of the game.
Down to Tyler. He gets the ball, and it's stripped. They didn't call the foul. McCullough all the way gets the bucket.
Got fouled 3 times on the way to the basket, walked, and gave him the 2 points.
27 points for McCullough. Can you believe it?
Yes.
It's probably one of the most unimpressive 27 points you're going to see in this business.
Oh, wow. What's going on?
And they're going to call half-court violation.
This guy doesn't have a clue, this ref.
Now this one's all over but the shouting.
Bender threw it off somebody's.
Zigdon for 3, drills it
Another
again,
one.
so he's adding some stats for his season averages there. And look at that, it's under a 10-point lead. Who would have believed that with the way this game has gone? But in garbage time, the final score may seem deceiving. Golden fouled, and Golden is going to go to the line. He's 2 for 2 from there this season. His only points of the season coming from the line.
Does he hit the net?
Look at that.
Nothing. He didn't even touch the rim. What we called, he tickled the twine. Twickled the twine.
So Golden getting on the scoring board as well. That is nice to see. McCullough and Tyler having some words, and a little bit of maturity there from Tyler. We saw him getting into words earlier this season, and it ended with the headbutt. So none of that tonight.
It's
just over 20 to go. A timeout, and all we're missing to complete this evening is some points from Ronnie Stark, Simi.
Yeah, that would be great. You know, I mean, it's been a well-deserved win. You know, the Haifa team put on the defensive end in the second quarter, really gave a real good showing and pulled out to a nice lead. And from then on, it was like, you know, the doing as you please, and with Devon really giving a nice showing. Kujikaro rebounding really well and playing tough.
And we're staying with you throughout this this time out here as you take a look at the numbers there. Jefferson and Kujikaro, your men of the evening. Let's give you a live update with what's going on in Holon. 15 seconds left to go. They're up by 3. Bnei Sharon trying to get a 3-pointer here to tie it up. And they only get 2. So under 10 seconds to go, Holon up by 1, which would be their first victory of the season. We'll keep you posted on that as the thrilling ending in that game reaches its conclusion. This game hasn't been as thrilling, Simi, but again, a win counts just like any other, and this will be 5 in a row for Haifa, who after that start, we had a lot of question marks. They are now
should make it 5 in a row.
Yeah, they're now 6-2 and tied for second in the league. So after the undefeated Maccabi Tel Aviv team.
And they had a foul to give, or Brenner.
19.5 to go in this one. McCullough from the corner. I would have given him 30. He has had one night here, statistically wise at least, in Haifa. Mizrahi. He just moved his feet there and they caught him. So we are inching our way towards the end of this game. Barlow, and he gets fouled by Benda.
And that's another foul, that not a shooting foul, and they're 1.4 seconds on it, and it looks like Haifa's going to keep them under Ramat Gan under 70 points.
Unless they make this, they don't. So you call it, Simi. That's our final score for this evening. 80-69. Haifa wins its 5th in a row here as they return triumphantly home. And you see the satisfied faces of those Haifa players. Let's take a look at our scores this evening. McCullough, 27 for Ramat Gan, but nobody else there in double figures. Kazoo came on late, and Thomas with an impressive performance off the bench. For Haifa, it was Jefferson, 24 points. Mizrahi with 13, 11 of those in the first, and then Kujikaro completing the scoring there. Rich with 9, Strong with 6. just Haifa dominating this game from start to finish. We should get the standings in a minute, but give us a look at this, Simi, over here. We take a look at the stats there, and you see the numbers top to bottom. Other than the turnovers, just Haifa domination.
Yeah, well, 28 free throws is shows that they're going to the basket, getting advantages on 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s, and you know, almost a 47% field goal, which is a nice percentage, even though at the end it could have been more, but they missed a lot of easy shots. You know, I mean, it's a well-deserved win. It was a lot easier than the score shows, but you need games like that. You know, I mean, it's not, you know, you really need games like that, and that's very important.
And you see next Saturday, we already have the date of that game. We will be with you in Afula, up in northern Israel. We're going to stay with you just for a moment to give you an update of what's happening in Holon. Holon adding to their lead, and it looks like they are on their way to their first victory of the season, perhaps. That'll do it for Simi and myself. We'll see you next week in Afula. It's been a pleasure. Until then, good evening, shalom from Tel Aviv.